In the years that followed the financial crisis, sales of RVs began booming. Once considered a pretty dowdy way to travel, RVs have benefited from slick industry ad campaigns, relatively low gas prices, and a renewed interest among Americans of all ages, including retiring boomers and younger RVers lured by a chance to live the so-called van life. Sales began to drop in 2018, but the latest boon to the business might be the coronavirus pandemic.
It's a common theme that we've been hearing from our dealers, from customers, friends of mine, the same way, that maybe never considered the lifestyle, but they needed a place to get from point A to point B, and an RV truly is the safest way to do it.
We've been wanting to buy a camper for a while now, and we knew that if we got a camper, or the sooner we got a camper, the more we would go camping just in general. And so this gave us the nudge to do that.
RV companies such as Winnebago and Tor Industries have seen revenues soar over the last decade. RV sales grew from 2010 to 2017 in most years by double digits annually. The new boost from the pandemic could fuel growth for months, if not years to come. But it also risks straining the industry's capabilities. Some longtime RVers and industry watchers say the RV industry's rapid growth has come with its share of pains. Some say they are seeing reports of quality issues with RVs bought in the last several years. They attribute it to the boom in production and intense price competition among manufacturers looking to lure new customers. Surging demand has strained the supply chain and production capacity of the RV industry's heartland, Elkhart, Indiana, where the vast majority of RVs are made. Data indicate first-time buyers are pouring into dealerships and shows looking for their own happy home on the road. This is a promising sign for a business built around a lifestyle even RVers admit was once seen as deeply uncool. But longtimers say new customers need to do their research before signing and understand what the RV life is really about.
It can be wonderful, but people need to do their homework first just to make sure it's a dream come true rather than a nightmare.
A recreational vehicle, broadly speaking, is one that has spaces and features that enable people to essentially live in it comfortably, at least for a time. There are many types that fall under this banner. The two main categories are towables and motorhomes, which each break down further into different subcategories, such as camper vans, fifth wheels, and so on. Vehicles in these different segments range in size, the amenities they offer, and in their sticker prices, which can run from thousands of dollars to more than $1 million. Towables, which are hitched to the back of cars or trucks, make up 90% of the market, according to the RV Industry Association. Motorized versions make up the other 10%.
Towables allow consumers to get in at a lower price point because you're not paying for the engine and the automotive portion. So as long as you've got a vehicle that can tow it, it allows people to get in a little more affordably way.
As the industry has grown, RVs have become larger and more sophisticated, with features that ever more closely resemble those found in an ordinary home. The RV industry is as old as the automotive industry itself. Historians place its birth in the year 1910, just about 7 years after the Ford Motor Company was established. 1910 was the year the first motorized campers were made. Up to that point, people who wanted to sleep comfortably on wheels had to resort to outfitted railway cars. Most of these early designs were pretty simple, and they were devoid of many of the conveniences found in contemporary RVs, such as fully functional kitchens and bathrooms. Yet these new campers found a market among Americans eager for a new tool to help with comfortable travel. A culture of tin can tourists began to sprout in America in the 1920s. By the 1930s, RVs included beds, dining tables, water, and electricity. Progress continued into the 1950s and 1960s, around the time many of the current RV manufacturers were founded. RVs became an established American cultural phenomenon by the latter 20th century. Despite this, they were for a long time considered, well, not really hip.
People thought that RVing was, young people thought it was very corny and just for retired people. And of course, that's changed now in the last few years.
As the US economy recovered from the recession spurred by the financial crisis of 2008, the RV industry saw several years of impressive growth. Sales of the iconic brand Winnebago grew from $449.5 million in 2010 to around $2 billion in 2019. Sales of market leader Tor Industries, which owns the also iconic Airstream brand, grew from $2.3 billion in 2010 to around $8 billion in 2018 and 2019. Part of what fueled this is a dramatic spike in interest among members of very different generations, say industry analysts. So-called baby boomers are retiring and looking to spend more time traveling. These customers fit industry analyst Chuck Woodbury's characterization of road-going grandparents eager to enjoy their golden years. But there has also been a sharp rise in younger buyers, fueled by what some call the van life trend. Van life is often rendered with a hashtag, signifying the role social media has played in the movement. A fair number of younger buyers see in RVs and converted vans the promise of a life of greater freedom and simpler living. Others are just looking to get away from home for a bit.
There really is a large resurgence in wanting to get back out in nature. Everybody realizes it's good for the soul as well as for the physical body. And the RVs allow you to get there, set up a base camp, do what you enjoy doing, hang out with friends, hang out with other families, and get that breakaway before you return to those very hectic lifestyles that pretty much all of us have today.
We love the camping lifestyle. We both grew up camping. There's so many family values that go behind camping between, teamwork and organizational skills and enjoying the great outdoors. And so we really wanted to still have that element of camping and instill those values in our kids.
There is an important point to make here. Many of the people living the so-called van life do not buy ready-made RVs. Instead, they often buy conventional transit or cargo vans. The Mercedes Sprinter and Ford Transit lines are popular choices. These vans are then converted either by the owners themselves or by shops that specialize in van conversions. This is often a lot cheaper than buying a ready-made camper van. Like conventional RVs, these can range from the simple and Spartan to the luxurious. Perhaps the most famous camper van of all time is the Volkswagen Bus, formerly known as the Type 2, which became a symbol of the counterculture and a home on the road for a generation of hippies.
The camper version of the Type 2 was called the Westfalia, named for the company that converted the van for camping. Volkswagen has been making camper vans since the original VW bus era. Among others, there was the Vanagon, the Eurovan, and the California Camper, which, despite the name, is not sold in California or anywhere else in the United States.
VW has said it plans to revive the original VW bus concept as a futuristic, fully electric van in 2022. The major RV manufacturers also make their own camper vans, often built off platforms such as the Mercedes Sprinter. And the RV Industry Association says the average age of RV owners has been dropping from the age of 48 in 2015 to 45 in 2017.
We see a lot of people that do the van life for a number of years and then move into a little more traditional RV, even if it is just the van camper or small motorized or even a towable product.
That means the industry is connecting with younger consumers and suggests more good years are ahead if those customers keep coming back. Many of these younger RVers have jobs that allow them to work remotely. Widespread internet connectivity helps. About 1 million to 1.5 million live in their RVs full-time, according to the RV Industry Association. RVs have become so popular, in fact, that some people say RV parks and campgrounds have become pretty crowded. Stories abound of travelers struggling to find space to park their vehicles.
RV parks are not growing very fast. They're very expensive. $20,000 to $25,000 a space is what it costs somebody to build an RV park when you figure all the hookups and everything that goes into it. So they're very expensive. It takes a long time to get that money back. So there's not that many RV parks, and yet you've got all these people that want to stay in them. And then you've got the full-timers that are staying in them. You've got the traveling nurses, the pipeline workers, all these people. So where are these people going to stay?
Those in the industry say the explosive growth of RV sales has exposed some other troubling phenomena.
The fact is, RVs, what you don't see, what you don't see beneath the surface, the staples and the glue that's holding them together on the cheap ones, and the shortcuts that will take.
Industry watchers, such as Chuck Woodbury, say they have heard tales of RVs cheaply and hastily made.
I went out on a press trip once with they gave us these bottom line RVs to use, and I'm telling you, the bed was like a normal bed at home, but without the mattress, just the box springs. I mean, it was awful.
Critics attribute the troubles to the dramatic spike in demand and intense price competition among the few manufacturers in the business. Today's RV industry is heavily consolidated, a trend that intensified during the financial crisis, when many smaller makers were either gobbled up by larger competitors or simply went out of business. Now, 3 makers control the vast majority of market share: Winnebago, Tor Industries, and Forest River, which is owned by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway holding company. Tor Industries has about 48% of the market alone, according to Jefferies analyst Brett Jordan. Forest River has about 33%, and Winnebago about 8%, with the remaining 11% made up by smaller players. 83% of RVs are made in Indiana, mostly in Elkhart County, the heart of the industry. So the soaring demand has left what was once a small, very regional industry struggling at times to ramp up production and to service vehicles in need of repairs. RVs have also become a lot more complex. It seems obvious to say it, but it is worth remembering that RVs are more like houses than they are like cars. They have bathrooms, sinks, refrigerators, complex lighting systems, and unique construction. That means servicing one of these things requires a pretty wide skill set, including a familiarity with automotive maintenance, electricity, plumbing, and other things. In 2018, the RV Industry Association invested $10 million in the creation of the RV Technical Institute in Elkhart, Indiana. The institute launched in the fall of 2019. The goal is to create more trained technicians, help current practitioners strengthen their skills, and reduce service wait times for customers. With respect to quality issues, the RVIA said it maintains teams of employees that regularly make unannounced safety inspection visits to RVI member factories, which comprise 98% of RV manufacturers in the country. A recent survey of owners by the RVIA showed that less than 1% of them plan to stop RVing. Tor Industries and Winnebago were not available to comment on this story. In 2018 and 2019, RV shipments had shown signs of decline after years of growth, but the onset of the global pandemic has boosted consumer interest, according to those in the industry. Campgrounds and RV parks have seen jumps in reservations. On June 10th, KeyBank analyst Brett Andress said in a note that RV demand has stabilized and has shown signs of accelerating. The firm raised estimates and price targets across the board for manufacturers and the RV seller Camping World. Andress said he believed COVID-19 had the potential to create a longer tail this time, given incremental hesitation toward traditional leisure avenues, such as hotels, cruises, and sporting events. Evidence for this can be found in the airline travel disruptions seen after the attacks on the World Trade Center in September 11, 2001, which led to a significant 15-month tailwind for the RV industry. However, he did also say there are concerns the industry might not have enough inventory to meet demand. Jefferies analyst Brett Jordan said in a note on May 5th that production shutdowns due to the pandemic did have a significant effect on demand in April.
It was looking bleak as to what's going to go on. And as time continued, we started to see the trends. Consumers, who had been confined to an apartment or to a home in one place, were itching to get back out and do things, yet remain socially distant. And an RV allows you to have some of that freedom of flexibility and control.
In a note on June 12th, however, Jordan said that many of Thor's dealers reported a significant sales boost from April to May and were optimistic about future demand. That, Jordan said, could be partly influenced by an influx of first-time buyers. Trade-ins were below historical levels, and Thor's strongest demand at that time was coming from its entry-level models. While analysts who follow RV stocks generally see short-term upside for the industry, some do point out that the larger U.S. economic situation remains uncertain, and RV sales have risen and fallen in cycles throughout history. It is worth noting that towables tend to outperform motorized RVs during economic downturns. Wells Fargo noted that owners of RVs are, on average, in their mid to late 40s and have average annual incomes around $90,000. People who buy towables and camper vans, however, tend to be younger. That might bode well for a business in an America that is also changing. It just needs to keep up with demand and keep its owners happy and fit to take on the highways.